Hello YouTube friends, and welcome to this fourth entry of the Thoughtful Knitter video journal. My name is Ailey and I'm coming to you from my home in the very far north of Scotland, and today I seem to be camouflaging into my background. I do honestly wear other colours sometimes. Anyway, welcome back if you have been here before. It's a delight to be in your company as always, and if you are new, I really hope that you feel welcome here and that you enjoy what you see. My hope is that this will be a welcome and safe space for everyone, and will also be accessible to people who struggle with fatigue for any reason. So with that being said, there are lots of different segments and there are timestamps in the description box below. So you can skip to bits that you want, or you can stop and start quite easily without losing your place. Today we have all the usual segments, and also at the end I'm going to announce the giveaway winner. So a couple of episodes ago there was a bonus episode and it was a gratitude episode for the lovely warm welcome that you've all given me, and we had a giveaway going there, and it closed on Friday the 5th of November, which was just a few days ago, and I have drawn a winner, so I'm going to put that at the end. Feel free to skip ahead if you want to, but I hope you'll join me for some knitting chat beforehand. So let's get into it with what I'm wearing today. As I said, I seem to be camouflaging into the background here, but this is a really simple jumper. It is called the Floof by Skein-Deer Knits, and I knitted it over 2 years ago, and pretty much ignored the whole point of the pattern, in that it was back when mohair was becoming a big thing, and double stranding it with fingering weight or 4-ply yarn became all the rage. So it's called Floof because the yarns that are called for are a fingering weight and a strand of mohair. But I'm not really a massive fan of mohair. I just find it too hot, and also I think I'm traumatised from my youth, and all I can think about when I hear the word mohair is itchy garments. So yeah, I decided to omit the mohair and go down needle size. So I went down to a 4mm needle, and so knit it on a tighter gauge, which meant I then knit a larger size. So I knit the size 6, and I think I stuck to pattern pretty much. I did a folded collar here, double folders collar, and I knit it longer. I should stand up and show you what it looks like. So as you can see, it comes to kind of high hip, just on the hip, and it's got quite fitted sleeves. It was meant to be quite cropped at the front, and then there was meant to be a low high hem, so there was meant to be short rows that lengthened the back and left the front quite high up, so like kind of hitting the top of your jeans. But I knitted that and really didn't like the way it looked, so I pulled it out and knitted the whole thing one length. There's no shaping in it, But the interesting thing about this garment is it is knitted with the contiguous method. So it looks like it's seamed, but these parts here and then into the sleeve are all done with increases. So it's got a really quite tailored look, but no seaming, which is nice. And it's got that kind of set-in sleeves look as well. So yeah, this is very much a run-of-the-mill, very plain jumper, but I do like it. It was an absolute bargain when it came to the price of the wool, because it was something that I picked up, I think it was on, there's a helicopter outside, I hope you can't hear that. There's not a lot I can do about it anyway. I picked it up in a bargain on a clearance sale with one of the big online companies, and you can definitely hear that. There are a lot of helicopters that stop here to refuel on their way offshore up to Shetland, so it's probably one of those. Right, what was I saying? Yes, this wool was an absolute bargain. I got it on a clearance from one of the big online retailers, and really just bought it because I liked the colour. I'm quite bad for doing that. And it's just a workhorse sock wool, and it is Wendy Rome. Yeah, Wendy Rome. It's a 4-ply, and it is 75% wool and 25% nylon, and it's in the colourway Boness. Of the total cost between the yarn and the pattern was £6, and all in total the cost of everything was £19.98. So I got a lovely jumper for less than £20. That does not happen often in the knitting world. So yeah, it's just a really straightforward jumper, but with interest because of the construction. I've not actually knit anything with that construction since then, but I did enjoy it, and it was a nice project to learn something new with. So yeah, I would recommend it. And if you're a mohair lover, then you can have a fluff rather than a fluffless. Let's go on to my finished objects for these last few weeks. I have been busy gift knitting again. There seems to be quite a lot of babies on the go at the moment. So I have knit a couple of wee cardigans using the same pattern for both, and they have both since been sent off, so I don't have them to show you, but I'll put a couple of pictures here for you to see. I knit both of them from the same pattern, which is the DK Entrechat by Froginette, and it's a lovely wee one that I have knit before, and I think I'll probably knit some more, because it's a really quick knit, it doesn't use up a lot of yarn, so really good for leftovers. So the first one on the top here, it was made from leftovers that I had from a shawl that I knit for my mum a few years ago, and it actually went to the same little girl as I knit the scratch mitts and baby socks for that I mentioned in the last episode. I knit this wee cardigan in Woolly Mammoth Fibre Company, BFL Massum DK. It only used up, I think it was 98 metres, so it was great, a lovely way to use it up, and the only modification I made is I thought I might be a bit short on yarn. I probably actually would have been okay, but when it came to below the textured band, you do some increases for the extra flounce that comes out, and I just omitted some of those increases and made it just a little bit kind of closer fitting. So that's all I did for it. I did the same thing for the other one, which is on the bottom here, because I was definitely plain yarn chicken with it. I got a bit cocky when I managed to knit the first one out of less than 100 meters of yarn and thought, oh great, I'm just going to use up the leftovers from my niece's what was it I knitted? Newling sweater that I told you about in episode 2. So I thought, yeah, this is great, I'll get another one out of the clotted cream. So the yarns that I used for that were Debbie Bliss Cashmerino, Debbie Bliss Baby Cashmerino, and they were in the colourways Clotted Cream, which is the kind of neutral colour, and Citrus, which is the lovely light green colour. And I thought I was going to have enough of the Clotted Cream left, but it turns out what I had written on my ball band was not to be believed, because I had actually put some into my mitered square blanket and had forgotten all about it. So there's a lesson: always weigh your yarn if it's leftovers, because what you've written on your ball band might not be accurate. So what I ended up having to do, I got down to the textured part of the cardigan and thought, oh yeah, there's no way I'm going to have enough left here. So I decided to put in the contrasting colour, but I ended up having to do a bit of, what's the word, intarsia on the fly, because I wanted the bit here to remain one colour, you know, like the, what's that called? Button band, except it's not got a button. Anyway, I wanted the collar kind of bit to remain in one colour, and I didn't want to have like a big stripe of the other colour. So I did some intarsia there and used that for the textured band and also for the bottom hem. Now on to a couple of finished objects that I can actually show you, because I have them here. So the first one featured in the last episode, and that is this year's Shetland Wool Week hat, Da Crofter's Cape. This is a pattern that is free on the Shetland Wool Week website, and it's normally free for the full year from, it's normally about March until March, so this will be available until the next Shetland Wool Week pattern is released, which is generally mid-March, so mid-March 2022. Yeah, so there's not too much to tell you about this one. I'll give you a wee, the light is not, that's better. The light is not doing me any favours today, it's the time of year. So this was knit in one of the official colourways in yarns from Uredale. These are 100% Shetland organic wools, and they were really lovely to work with. I'll put all the details in the description box below of what the colours were. Yeah, there's not too much to tell you. I knit this exactly to pattern. I used the gauge, the suggested needle size of 2.75 millimeters. Yeah, and it fits lovely. I'll pop it on for you to see. Oh, the light's going funny. That's it. Beautiful crown. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can do it this way. Dear. So there's the crown. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. So that is my first finished object that I can show you in person. This is the beginning of a theme. I seem to be channeling autumnal colours, and I think the reason being that we don't really get autumn up here. We have a climate and weather very similar to what they have up in Shetland. We are absolutely blasted by the wind, so we kind of go straight from summer to winter. We don't have a huge number of trees because of the wind. I live right on the coast, so any trees that do grow here tend to grow a bit squint with the wind, And then as soon as the first scales kind of start in August, definitely in September with the equinox scales, the leaves all get wind burnt and burnt with salt spray, so you don't get that lovely turn-in of colour between all the different colours. And also inland, even if they do change colour, or if you go a little bit inland where there are some trees, the first blast of wind and they're gone. So yes, autumn is not a season that we get to enjoy much up here, and I always kind of wonder why people get excited by autumn, and then I'll go and visit somewhere that actually has a beautiful autumn and I think, aha, this is what it's all about. So anyway, that was a bit of an aside, but you'll see that these colours are the beginning of a theme. My final finished object is another hat, and this was a request from a friend who works outdoors. He's an outdoor instructor, and he wanted something that was textured but close fitting, like a beanie. And his wife is one of my very good friends, and she is very much into crafting. She's a wonderful sewer, she crochets, she turns her hand to pretty much everything. So she was a great source of choosing the yarn. So between them they chose the yarn, and we looked for a pattern that had a bit of texture and things, and we came across this pattern here that's called White Frost, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it is by Babette Ulmer, I think. Let me check. Yes, it's a free pattern. I will warn you that there are a few errors with it. I think there are possibly problems in the translation. It's originally a German pattern and has been translated to English. It seems from the comments that most of the problems are with the written instructions, and I generally use charts, so it didn't have too many problems. But it's worth reading all the comments when you go onto the pattern, the tab that has comments. If you read down there, that'll give you all the information of any errors, so you shouldn't have too many problems knitting it. My friend helped her husband choose the yarn, and they got it sent directly to me from the yarn dyer, and this is what they went for. So again, you can see very much autumnal colours, and this is by, oh, you can't see that. There we go. Mothy and the Squid, who is a yarn dyer based in Scotland, I think in Glasgow. And this colourway is called Autumn Light. It's in her DK weight sock, so it's 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. Now this came back an awful lot more variegated than it looked like on the website. So unfortunately, you know, on the website it was more tonal. So unfortunately some of the texture has been kind of lost, the detail of the texture, but I mean you can still see it. So it's got a lovely, there, that's a bit better. You can see it's got, it varies between plain rib and then a twist here, and then you have this linking cable pattern going up the way. There's been a little bit of pulling here, but yeah, so I'm really hoping that my friend likes this. He will certainly be able to know which hat is his amongst his colleagues, so that's going to go in the post either today or tomorrow, so hopefully they will have seen it before this is released for everyone else to look at. So yeah, I hope he really likes it. I'm not going to put it on because it's too big for me, but yeah, it was a nice pattern. The only thing I changed is it was quite a slouchy pattern, so I omitted 2 of the repeats to make it a bit shorter and closer fitting to the head. So yeah, that's all I had to say about my finished objects. So let's go on to my works in progress. So first of all, my first work in progress, if you watched last episode, is my Shifty, which I have done nothing with. It is in the naughty corner still, it's in hibernation. Thank you so much for all the ideas and feedback. I have pretty much decided that what I'm going to do is pull back to this to around here. I'm going to get rid of the last load of increases, and I'm going to try to figure out less increases and a different way of spreading the stitches around so I don't have as many in the back. I had thought about changing my colours, but I know that if I pull out completely, I won't ever start it again. But it's been a good learning process because I knit the swatch for it and really enjoyed the colours together, but I didn't look at it from a distance. So I think in future, if I'm going to be doing anything involving colour and working a swatch, I'm going to put it on the wall and just live with it for a few days at a distance, see it as others would see it rather than just up close. But yeah, I mean, I don't love the colours, but I do like them. So that's good enough for me. So yes, that's what's happening or not happening with the Shifty. I have two more works in progress. The first one I'm not going to share with you today because it is a gift knit, so I will share that with you when it's finished and ready to be given to its new owner. But the one that I have only just started and is capturing most of my attention over the past week is a test knit. So I generally don't sign up for test knits. I went through a phase about a year or so ago of doing a few different test knits, and that was really just to work through stash, you know, like little bits and ends. So it was mostly like accessories that I test knit and a baby knit, that sort of thing. But I saw this picture on Instagram and fell hook, line and sinker for it. And really, I should have known better than to sign up for it, because a while ago I kind of made the decision that I wouldn't really knit with anything over DK weight, because I find that the climate that we have up here in the north, so in the winter it's really chilly, but it's more the wind chill that's the problem, especially if there's a northerly wind. And I've found that great big chunky jumpers don't tend to really be that warm against the wind, unless you use something like light Lobie, that's gonna really kind of stop the wind coming through. But I find lots of layers far more effective. And then when it is the winter, the weather's so atrocious that you don't actually spend a huge amount of time outside anyway. And to be wearing a great big heavy jumper and then going inside where it's roasting hot because everyone's turned their central heating up, so I just end up like almost self-combusting when I wear great big thick woolens. But anyway, all that to say, I probably have no business knitting this, but I adored the pattern and thought, me please, I want to knit it. This is a pattern by Belén Fernandez, who has a podcast in Spanish called Tejer en Inglés. She actually is a Spanish lady from Asturias up in the north of Spain, but she has lived in Oxford for about 20 years, and she is a big name in the Spanish speaking knitting world. And I've been watching her for quite a wee while. I do speak some Spanish. It's very rusty, but I quite like practicing my Spanish year and listening to something that I'm interested in. So I listen to her. I watch her podcast. Yeah, so I had signed up. The exciting thing and somewhat daunting thing is that all of the communication is done in Spanish because I'm the only native English speaker. I mean, she was very accommodating and offered to send me things in English and translate, but I'm actually quite okay with the reading and even a lot of the listening. It's more writing that I struggle with because I didn't learn it in a typical academic setting. I learned it as I was in Latin America, just on the go. So speaking is a lot easier for me. Anyway, so I am very much enjoying this test knit. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, I have this yarn here. That's a bit better. So it's Let Lopey, and it's in the colourway Rust Heather, and I thought it would be absolutely beautiful in this colourway. Sadly though, it is out of stock everywhere in the UK. So instead, I decided to go with this one here. There we go. So that is the yarn that the pattern is actually been designed in. This is Durerum Natura Gilead from France. It is a woolen spun merino worsted weight yarn, and it was made from, I think, merino from Portugal that is dark, you know, like a dark wool. So that's where you get the kind of stronger colour, the more jewel toned colours from. So this one is called Caramel. This colour, that side there, that is pretty much what the colour is. Hi, I'm back, and you'll see that the light has gone completely. I had recorded the whole of the episode and discovered too late that my camera had cut off half of the video without giving me any warning. So fingers crossed we managed to get this in one take, and we're just going to have to work with the terrible lighting conditions, I'm afraid. That's, well, it's coming up for winter and we live in the northern climes, so yeah, so I had just shared with you which wool I was using for the test knit, and I have started the knit just in the very early stages so far. It's knitting up nice and quickly because it's on, I got gauge on 5.5mm needles. So I've done the neck, the collar, and the short rolls at the back, and now working down the increases for the yoke. So yeah, the light is dreadful, you can't see this at all. But you'll see that this is in keeping with the autumnal theme again. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this so far. It's a really clever pattern. Belen has worked the short rolls, also introducing some of the cables here. So it's really clever so far and very well explained. Yeah, so those are my works in progress. This one you will be seeing over the next couple of episodes probably, because the test deadline is the middle of December. So yeah, I'm enjoying this one. So finally, you've probably all been waiting for this for quite some time. I have got the winner of the giveaway to announce. So just a quick reminder of what was up for grabs. There was this wee Highland Cow badge. I think you call them pins over in the States. Little badge. And there was a set of sock blockers from Paperwork, and there was also this beautiful sock set from the lovely Kaz of Gardener's Cottage Yarn. And somebody actually commented on the giveaway post, I think it was Jennifer, said that these colours are the McCallum tartan colours, and you're quite right. What I said was a load of nonsense, and it serves me right for watching a podcast when I was too tired to pay attention. So the winner of this lovely bundle, I'm gonna try and put a video in here if I'm clever enough. I selected the winner using random comment picker for YouTube online, and the winner is, drumroll please, Susan Jackson. So Susan, it would be great if you could contact me. I will try to find your comment on the original post and comment there. But you can also contact me if you have Instagram. There is an Instagram account for this channel. I'll put it on the screen. It's at The Thoughtful Knitter, so you could direct message me there. You could also direct message me on Ravelry if you happen to use that. I'll put my username on the screen. It is Caithness Lassagie. And I will also put an email address for the podcast in the description box below. So that would be another option if the other two aren't available to you. So yeah, congratulations. I just wanted to see how much I enjoyed all your comments on the giveaway. There were 396 eligible entries, so that was pretty cool. And it was just quite interesting to hear how you had come across the channel, because I had it in my head that I had some kind of fairy godmother, podcasting fairy godmother, who had told you all to come, but that's not been the case at all. My thanks pretty much entirely go to the YouTube algorithm and the suggestions. So that's funny. I don't know what I did to make it work for me, but thank you, YouTube. And another couple of things that came out from it were that most of you are here for the accent, I think. Which is quite funny because to me it's just, this is just the way everybody sounds here. But on that note, if you are a fan of kind of Celtic accents, I would really like to recommend that you check out Kat Kelly Crafts here on YouTube. She is based in Northern Ireland, and she's actually quite a new knitter. She only took up knitting, I think, in December, January time. But she's fearless. She has knit all sorts of things already, like a Misserina, is that what it's called? With colour work and cables and lace, and she's just she's got a lovely podcast, really easy to listen to and to spend time with. I really, really enjoy her, and I think you guys will too. And the other thing that came out that's also making me laugh is that you all think I'm really calm and gentle and, relaxed, and yeah, I've never thought of myself in that way, but possibly when I speak knitting I go into like a zen-like aura that emits from me or something, I don't know. But if you quite like calming, relaxing things, then I've got a few recommendations for you. The first is actually an audio podcast, and it's really short. It's only, I think, about 10 minutes long, and it's by a friend of mine who's an artist called Monique Sliedrecht, and she has a podcast called Tales from the North. So that is a really lovely one to watch. And also another couple of YouTube channels that I've come across since starting mine that also are just like serene. One is Diana Bloom, who is a viewer, and she is based over in Canada. She's an artist and a stay-at-home mum. I think she podcasts or vlogs every fortnight, every 2 weeks. So she's got a lovely channel. And also Sally's Backyard, she has a knitting vlog, and again a lot of just beautiful scenery, kind of bits of her garden, bits of baking and cooking and also knitting. So they're really lovely if you just are feeling a bit strung out and want something nice and mellow to watch. And also they're lovely people, so it's nice to spend time with them. So yes, I just wanted to recommend those to you, and hopefully you'll enjoy them as much as I do. So yeah, that's everything for today. I'm sure I have waffled on long enough, and my camera and phone are not playing ball today, so I'm going to give up when the going is good and leave you here. You take care of yourselves. I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon. And yeah, just comment below, tell me what you're up to, and I really enjoy reading them and replying. So all feedback is most welcome. Take care. Bye bye.